Hi, good afternoon. Um, I'm speaking to you from my shop called the Serenity Shop, and I just want you to introduce myself. I'm Trinity Rose Williams. I've been a spiritual medium for over 20 years. Um, I run a spiritual church, um, and I would like to talk to you today about what is going on in the world. We're all under this great umbrella of COVID-19 or the coronavirus. And obviously, it is extremely worrying and creating a lot of fear in people. I think it's really important that this video is trying to eliminate some of the fear that is being inspired by the media, the BBC, the media that is being run by maybe government, and also it is important to understand where this fear is coming from. And the other thing is the biggest way of creating fear is talking of death. And this is something that we don't always want to talk about, or we don't want to face. And we think that it is the extinction of us all, that this individual person that I appear to be, Trinity Rose Williams, once that death is took place, that I will not be here, and that that I won't exist. Well, the evidence out there now is absolutely phenomenal, and it's telling us that there is no death. It's important to, there is a lot of talk of what is going on in the world, and I will talk that there has been mention of a new world order, and that in itself is scary. But whatever is coming to us, I think the biggest thing to understand is, how do we deal with this within ourselves? How do we cope with any situation that this world sends to us? Because this world is not always a nice place, and it can be very difficult. We can suffer, and we can be frightened, and we can be frightened of many different things. But death actually is not as bad as we've been made to believe. It is a transition to a really beautiful place, providing, obviously, it's how we've lived our life and what we've given, and that includes kindness and love to each other. And when we go back to the spirit world, we go back to a vibration that we are well suited to. I know how hard it is to lose somebody very close. I lost my husband 2.5 years ago, and I have suffered. Even though I know he's here, he's come through for 2.5 years, and he's given me inspiration to carry on, to open this shop, to give sittings to people. They're coming off the street to prove that their loved ones are still there for them. He also gives me strength to know that he's there, that I will definitely 190,000% see him again, and for that I can't wait to make that transition myself, because life can be hard here on my own, and I know that the spirit world is a place of beauty, that I have actually been there, I have seen it, I have felt it, and it is a place of pure beauty and love, and unconditional love, a love that in the human body we can't really comprehend. But this body is a form, and I'm not this body. It is a vessel that I am using as I'm moving through this world. And this is what we all are. We are not a body. This is not who we are. Our mind is so very, very powerful that we are experiencing through form. And that's why we can't die, because our mind is not in our brain. If you want to put it in another way, our mind is still in spirit in a sense, and we are experiencing through our mind, through our brain, through this body, and experiencing this world. But this world in reality doesn't really exist, and that's really hard to understand, because our mind is producing this world. And the easiest way to put this for everybody to understand is the television. Like I'm talking to you now on a screen, our mind projects the world, a physical world that we are sitting in now, and you're listening to me. And we become the actors in this world, this physical world. And we're acting out in a play like we would, like watching a film on the television. And we choose our life before we come here. No God gives us illness, sickness, and pain and suffering. We do this by choosing our life ourselves. We want to choose a way of being separate, if you would like. We want to be a body. We want to come to the world. We want to experience through this world. And every man, woman, and child who is born here has set out their script. And that might be hard to understand. But my job is to prove through the evidence given that our loved ones who pass over are still there, and they are still there, and they are still here to help us, and they can help us with what we've chosen in our script to be able to get through it in a more easy way. So the object of the game is not what happens in the world, is how do we deal with it. Well, we've now got a situation where we've got a virus running around, where we're told it will cause so many deaths, and we've now got into a state of fear. So logically, it's about looking at that fear. It's logically understanding that our time is set. You won't go before your time. And also, it's about being in the moment. Whether there's a virus about or not is really immaterial. What it is really about is the love we can give in this moment. And, we're told we can't hug, we can't be with our families, we can't do this, we can't do that. But our life, when we come here, we are given free will. We choose free will. So we are choosing that free will, and we can choose to run our life how we would want to run our life by choosing the free will. I'm not saying that sometimes we can't change the outside situation, but the way we think about it, we can, and we can still send love to our loved ones here in this physical world. We have the right to choose how to look after our children, how to give that love. We can give our power away to a virus, or we can say, this is my power, I'm going to keep it for myself, and I'm going to use that power and connect that power with the spirit world, and I'm going to ask them to help me go through this situation. whatever happens in this world, every single one of us are going home. We're going back to spirit. Now, I know there's violence being in the police force, where people are gathering, and there's been like violence, and there's violence with Black Lives Matter, and there's violence everywhere. Well, you know, our free will is also a choice on how we behave. And it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. It doesn't matter if it's me. It doesn't matter who it is. We have the right and the free will to behave accordingly. So if I want to be cruel and horrible, there's nobody else that takes that consequence but me. If I put that out and hurt somebody else, then the consequence is still me. Because in spiritual law, as we give, we receive. There is no way out of this. Absolutely no way out. So whoever in this world wants to create fear through the mainstream media, through the governments, through the police, through the virus, or making people frightened of the virus. We face viruses every day. We have flu viruses. We live with viruses every day. But if people in this world create the fear, then they are creating the fear on themselves. Because again, as we give, we receive. And if people want to create fear and make other people ill and frightened and putting face masks on, or want us to be muzzled or whatever, or want to jab vaccines in the body, then again, as you give, you receive. If they believe in the spirit world or not is immaterial, because as we give, we receive. We need to think about it very strongly. And also, we need to think about how much cooperation we give. And again, it's your free will to choose that if you want to wear a face mask and you want to adhere to the government guidelines, that is entirely your choice. Entirely your choice. And that is your free will to exercise that right. And if there's people who do not want to wear a face mask and do not believe in this virus or do not want a vaccine, then that is their free will, and we must respect that as well, because that is their free will to do what they think is best for them. And we have no right to keep making judgments. We cannot judge. But what we can do is let the world be. Whatever it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're not the body. We're not. They can do whatever they like to the body, but it does not take you or me, because we are our own soul, our own journey. But yes, we need to share, be kind, caring, and loving. We need compassion and understanding. And if these people who are creating all this fear, maybe we need to look at them with compassion and understanding. Because if you think about it, they must be lost. To want to create such mayhem and fear, they must be lost. They must be. So what I'm saying to you today, there is a team, I'm led to believe, a behavioural insight team in the UK government, which are trying to break us down psychologically so they can rebuild us again for a new world order. If this is true, it makes no difference what they do, because at the end of the day, like I said, we all take responsibility for our actions. None of us can escape going home. The spirit world is our home. We've been there many times and we've had many lives here, many. So let them do whatever they want to do. Because when our time comes, we go home to the peace, the love, the beauty of indescribable beauty that is our place of being, is our place of total utopia, if you like. I hope that this can give you a break from feeling so frightened. There is nothing to be frightened of. It is a death, is a transition. There are many, many people out there now who've had many out of body experiences, near death experiences. And they have come back and told you that the spirit world exists. And that is wonderful because we go on. And that helps me understand that with my husband, my children, my grandchildren, that no matter what happens here, we're safe. We are totally, totally safe. There is my website is Trinity Rose Williams, www.trinityrosewilliams@outlook.com. You'll be able to see people who have had sittings. You'll be able to see what they have said, how their families have come through, how they now understand that they are still very much alive, still very much there, waiting for us to see them again, still very much with us. It's wonderful. And if you don't believe, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Because whenever we make that transition, we all go home, and that is a definite scenario. But please don't be frightened. Please don't let this stop you having your life, loving your loved ones, being close to everybody. Because this virus cannot stop you living. We live with viruses every day. And to be honest, we need viruses for our immune system to work. We have to have certain amount of germs and bacteria so our immune system keeps to its optimum. So it keeps us here till it's our time to make that transition. I'm happy to come again and give you more information. I hope that I've brought you some peace and that you think about the fear that is going around and incited, and think about not being so fearful and to enjoy the love and the joy and the peace. And we can all stand up and say, I'm sorry, I don't want to wear a face mask, or I do want to wear a face mask. But we can do it all without fear, because we know that without doubt, or I can tell you without doubt, you have nothing to fear in this world or the next. So I thank you for listening. Know that to be good and kind and caring and considerate is the only way forward. And with that, I say thank you for listening. And I leave the love of the spirit world, your loved ones in spirit. And thank you for listening to me. And with that, I'd like to say God bless you all. Thank you. God bless.